Evening, Ivan Omer here again. This is going to be another video. I'm going to babble on as usual, repeat the same things pretty much. But you guys, even when I repeat the same things, it's so interesting when you will watch my video, obviously. And then after this video, I will go to the store, get beer, get smokes, and I will order shawarma. There's a good chance while I make this video, I might order shawarma. So I might shut my camera off and order it while, because the place closes at 9. So, and I'll be done this video around closer around that 8:20, 8:30 range. So I want to get a driver, and my final part, I might order my shawarma first, and then I'll make my final part. Obviously, today will be a continuation of my Lord of the Rings relaunch. Hope you guys are enjoying this amazing Lord of the Rings relaunch. Frodo and them just got rescued from the Barrow Downs, from the Barrow Whites. Tom Bombadil rescued them. What page am I on? Give me a sec here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I read another 4 pages yesterday, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So on page 188. So today I'll read another 4. And tomorrow I'll finish off. Today I'll read another 4 pages, and tomorrow I'll finish off Chapter 8 is a longer chapter. And then chapter 9 is at the sign of the prancing pony. Yeah, I was correct. So after Frodo and them leave the Barrow Downs, Frodo and them go to the prancing pony. That's in the movie, by the way. The scene when Frodo and them go to the prancing pony, that's in the movie. But even that scene in the movie, a lot of scenes in the book are cut out, obviously. A lot of scenes in the movie, a lot of scenes that are in the book are cut out, obviously. As Frodo and them meet the manager, you don't meet any manager in the movie, obviously. In the movie, Frodo and them just go, they meet the bartender. He's like, have you seen Gandalf? He's like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I haven't seen Gandalf here for 6 months or something like that. And they meet Aragorn, whereas in the book, they meet the manager at the end, all that stuff. They also meet Aragorn. There's a lot of scenes that are in the book with Aragorn that are cut out in the movie, obviously. But I told you, Peter Jackson had no choice. Peter Jackson had to what? Peter Jackson had to what? He had to cut out a lot of, like, 80% of the scenes because what? He had a limited budget. Lord of the Rings, all 3 movies were only made for about $270 million. As all Lord of the Rings movies were made for about $90 million. $90 million for a movie like Lord of the Rings is not the biggest budget, obviously. So obviously, it's not a bad budget, but Peter Jackson had a limited budget. He had a limited $9 million budget, and for 3 movies, you can't cram all of Lord of the Rings, all the story of Lord of the Rings from the book in 3 movies. No way. If you want to follow a good 60% of the story, you have to make 6 movies minimum. If you made 6 movies, you would get a good chunk of the story. Not all of it, obviously. You still have to cut out quite a few stuff, but you would get at least a good 60% of each book if you did 6 movies. Easy get 60%, even 70% 65% of each book if you made 6 movies, obviously. Whereas if you want to get the full story, you have to do like 8 movies, 9 movies, something crazy, obviously, which is crazy. Anything over 6 movies is crazy. But had they done 6 movies, Hollywood done 6 movies, you would have got the full gist of the Lord of the Rings story, obviously. You would have got the full gist of the Lord of the Rings story. That's why what? That's why what? That's why, true. Even though Lord of the Rings movies were masterpieces, in my opinion, the best movie trilogy ever made. My only con about that movie is they only followed like 20% of the book, man. But a lot of people disagree with me. Some people say, Ivan, the adaptation doesn't have to be like the book. I agree. The adaptation doesn't have to be like the book, but in my opinion, you should be pretty faithful. You should follow a good, 60% of the story, 50% of the story. Whereas Peter Jackson only followed 20% of the book, man. As I'm reading the book right now, you guys can see there's a lot of differences from the movie and the book. And there are a lot of scenes that are cut out that are not in the movie, obviously. The Barrow Whites, Tom Bombadil, meeting Mr. Maggot, meeting Gildor. You know what I'm saying? Frodo and Sam getting ready to leave the Shire. All that's cut out, man. A lot of scenes are cut out, man. 80%. 80% of what? I'm just making up numbers here, but I think around a good 80% of what's in the book was cut out from the movie, man. The movie only gave you like 20% of what's in the book. See, in terms of concepts and themes, and you know what I'm saying, and the originality of the story, the movie did a good job, obviously. But in terms of like scenes, dialogue, and all stuff, the movie cut out like 80%, man. 80% of what's in the book. A lot of stuff is cut out, and you guys can see. I'm almost done book one. I've read to you what? I've read to you 8 chapters now. And you guys know, oh my god, like Ivan, like holy shit, a lot of stuff that's in the book that's not in the movie. Yeah, man. A lot of scenes that are in the book are cut out for the movie, obviously. Whereas for My Last Hope for Zanus movie, I'm actually gonna follow like 70% of the story. I'm just making up numbers. I don't know how much I'll follow, but my guess is I'm gonna follow a good 65, 70%. I'm gonna follow a good chunk. Like I'm gonna follow most of my book, obviously. But while I follow my book, I'm gonna add details and scenes to make it more interesting. There's some scenes that are in the book that I might not add in the movie, obviously. I might cut out some scenes that are in the book. Most of the scenes that are in the book I'll add in the movie, obviously, but there's some scenes in the book that may not translate well on screen. And so I might cut out those scenes and maybe add a different scene or something like that. There's some scenes in the book that I'm gonna cut out that I'm gonna cut out in the movie, obviously. The problem is I'm scared of cutting out a lot of scenes because I don't want to ruin the story, obviously. Hence why there's like I'll cut out a few scenes, but I'm not gonna cut out a lot of scenes. I'll probably cut out a good, I don't know, 4 or 5 scenes that are in the book. 4 or 5, maybe 6 scenes that are in the book. I might cut out in the movie, obviously. But most of the scenes that are in the book, I'm gonna put in the movie because Zane's is such an amazing story. It's a masterpiece. If you cut out way too much things, if you tamper it a lot, if you tamper with the story a lot, like cutting out like a lot of scenes and adding a bunch of stuff, you can ruin the story. That's why for Zane's, I'm gonna follow. As long as I follow the book, you'll get it. You'll get an amazing movie, obviously. Like the action scenes in the book, some of the stuff is a bit over the top, obviously. Like for example, the action sequences in the book, I don't have to follow that for the movie. The movie choreograph choreograph my own action sequences, obviously. There's some stuff I'll follow, some stuff that are in the book. There's some stuff in the book in terms of the action sequences. Some stuff I'll follow, but for the action scenes, you can make up your own scenes. Obviously, you don't have to follow what exactly happens in the action scenes in the book. As there's some action scenes in the book that don't translate well on screen. Whereas for screen, so the action scenes in the book, I don't have to follow that. I can me and the script developers and Peter Jackson or Mel Gibson, if they're hard, we can choreograph our own action sequences. Obviously, there's a good chance for the action sequences. I'm gonna hire a stuntman. I'm gonna have the stuntman help me choreograph the scenes, choreograph the fighting scenes, all that stuff. That way you get top notch action scenes. For the action sequences, you don't have to follow what's in the book. You can make up your own action scenes. There's some stuff in the book that I'll follow, obviously, because there's certain scenes in the book that stand out that I'll put in the movie, obviously. But for the action scenes, you can make up your own action scenes, obviously. You don't have to follow the action scenes if you adapt book to movie, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Right? And what are the main things you're gonna add? The main things I'm gonna add to the story are going to be my dialogue. I'm gonna add quite like my Zayas has amazing dialogue, but there's some scenes where I'm gonna add a bit more dialogue with Aratat for Fool. You know what I'm saying? And a bit more scenes with Aratat for Fool, Takis. I'll add a bit more scenes with the characters, with the human characters and the animal characters. Some scenes I'll add more scenes with Aratat, and I'll add more scenes with Tactius, add more dialogue in certain scenes, that kind of stuff. That's pretty much it. Because I'm basically going to be following the story. I'm going to follow a good chunk of what I wrote. Hence why for Zanes, you should get an amazing movie, obviously. As long as I follow the story, you should get an amazing movie, as I wrote a masterpiece. I told you, there's some scenes in the book that may not translate well on screen. Hence, there's a good chance I might cut out a few scenes and I won't put it in the movie. But I'm not going to go crazy and cut out like 20, 30 scenes, no. I'm not going to do a Peter Jackson where I cut out 80%, no. I'll cut out a good, like, I don't know, 1% of scenes or something like that. 7 scenes that are in the book I might not include in the movie. Yeah, these scenes might not be good in the movie. Let's cut it out. But most of the scenes that are in my book would translate well on screen. Hence why I don't want to cut out too much scenes, obviously. But there's some scenes that are in the book that will not be in the movie, obviously. Right. Either that or I'll be adding more scenes. So that specific scene that you see in my book, it might be slightly different in the movie, and I might add more scenes to that scene. That's my point. Obviously, right? I'm not gonna follow like everything exactly the way it's written in the book. No. I'm gonna add there's certain scenes. Like for example, there's the scene when Tactius, Papyri and them get thrown in a dungeon. I'm gonna probably add more scenes for that in the movie to make it more interesting, obviously. I might have maybe Tactius, Eli is thinking of putting Tactius to death, and they might have the crowd's vote and all. So if that's not in the book, I might add some stuff to make it more interesting, obviously. You know what I'm saying? You know, in Passion Christ, that scene when Jesus is taken to trial, and you know what I'm saying, they're like, crucify him, release Barabbas. Well, think something like that for when Tactius and them are thrown in the dungeon. I'm thinking something like that. That's not in the book. The book, it's not, you know what I'm saying? You don't really get a crowd of people. But I might do something like that for the movie to make it more interesting, obviously. You see what I'm saying? So even though I'm going to follow the story, I'm going to add details and scenes, some stuff to make it, I might make the scene a bit more dramatic to make the story more interesting, obviously. But I'm going to be faithful to the book. I'm not going to drift away from the story. I'm going to actually be faithful to the book, man. Because Zane's is a masterpiece. It's a kind of story, if you tamper with it too much, you can ruin the story. Hence why I told you there's a high chance I'm going to direct it myself. But there's also a high chance I'm going to hire Peter Jackson or Mel Gibson to direct my movie, obviously. And as long as they co-write it with me, you should get a good story. And you follow the story. As long as we follow the book, there's nothing wrong with adding details and dialogue to make the scene more dramatic. I'm fine with that. But as long as we follow the core of the story, so at least a good 65-70% of the story, you should get an amazing movie. And they co-write it with you. You should get an amazing movie, because they co-wrote the story with you. They know the ins and outs of your story, hence they now know what they want for their scenes. Obviously, hence why and Peter Jackson and Mel Gibson are amazing directors. Hence why you should get a good movie, obviously. Right? I would never let them direct my movie if they didn't co-write the script with me. If they didn't co-write the script with me, I would just direct it myself. I would never let anyone direct my movie if they don't co-write it with me. As I'm not a fan of a director directing someone else's script. No, man. As a director, you need to co-write the script. That way you know the ins and outs. Because if you know the ins and outs of the story, you're gonna even direct a better movie because you know all your scenes. You know all your scenes in and out. Whereas if you're directing someone else's script, yeah, you can go over the script, but because you didn't write it, chances are you might be lost in some scenes and that kind of stuff. Hence why, if I hire Peter Jackson and Mel Gibson, I'll have them co-write it with me. I'm going to have them co-write it with me, obviously. And I'll give them 100% creative control for directing. I'll give them full control. You have to trust them, obviously. They will never, they will say, Ivan, if you want me to direct your movie, you have to give me 100% creative control. As no director does, Peter Jackson and Mel Gibson will never direct my movie if I didn't give them 100% control. Hence why I would give them 100% control, obviously. Obviously, right? But for the concept arts, I would give them 50%. I might even give them 40%. I want to have a bit more creative control for the concept arts. Because I don't want anyone ruining my movie, man. Yeah, for the concept arts, I get 60% control. You get 40%. I want more power because I don't want anyone ruining my story, obviously. Because I want Airtight. What if they don't want Airtight being the devil and stuff like Nook, man? If you want to just for the story, you have to have Airtight be the... Yeah, for the concept arts, I'll give them power for the concept arts, but I have more power for the concept arts. Because I don't want them ruining my story, obviously. I'll give them a lot of power for the concept arts, but I have a bit more power because I don't want anyone ruining my story, obviously. I want Airtap to be the devil himself. You want to do justice for this story, you have to have Airtap be the devil himself. You can't have him be some PG-13 wolf. You have to let them know that, obviously. Right? So they co-write the script with me, they do the concepts with me. I'll give them a lot of creative control for the concepts, but I get a bit, me and my wife and the two script developers, we get a bit more say in the concept arts. Because I want my wife helping me out too. She will be helping me out. Like, VJ will obviously have some good ideas for the movie too, because she read my book, obviously. VJ is obviously creative like me, because she's God. She makes music. She's obviously very creative like me, obviously. As VJ will be helping me out too, because I saved her ass and she can see me, she'll be helping me out, obviously. VG will be helping me out too, obviously. She'll be helping me out when I do the console arts for Zetas. So the only thing, so I'll give them producing power. They'll be consulting the executive producers. They'll be co-writing the script, and they have 100% creative control as a director. The only thing whereby I'm the only power where I don't give them full control in is concept arts, because I don't want them ruining my story, man. I want Eritat to be the devil himself. I want him looking like Pennywise the Clown. I want Ephesus looking like that boss. I don't want him looking like some PG. Because I'm scared if I give Peter Jackson and Mel Gibson full control for consoles, I'm scared Peter Jackson might have Eritat be a PG wolf. I'm scared Peter Jackson's into CGI. I'm scared Peter Jackson might have Eritat be a full-on CG wolf, man. And if you do that, the movie won't be as good. You have to have Eritat look natural. Like you have to have, you know how the orcs in Lord of the Rings look natural? You have to have the wolves and bats look natural. Right. They look very scary, obviously, very, because I'm putting so much money towards special effects. They look very scary, obviously, but I want them looking natural. I don't want them looking like too CGI. Full on CGI Eritat, the movie won't be as good. It won't be as good. And because Peter Jackson's into CGI, I'm scared if I give him full control for the console arts, he might have Eritat be a full-on CGI wolf, obviously. He might even have him look like a werewolf. Whereas I don't want Eritat looking like a werewolf. No, man. I want him a wolf with human appearance, with human features. See. Look, man. You're my executive producer. You're the boss of the movie. I'm giving you a lot of power. You'll be consulting for business, for the cameras. You can even help out the 17 consult. You know what I'm saying? You have full power as a director. You're the boss, obviously. But for the console arts, you don't have full power. Me, my wife, and the two script girls have a lot of power too, as I don't want you guys ruining my story, obviously. I'm gonna keep saying this, world. The countdown to my series is ticking, as you only have what? We're October 7th today, obviously. So 23 days. So you pretty much have 3 weeks. Yeah, you have 3 weeks left of me on YouTube, and after that, I'm done, man. Because once I make that final announcement, that is it for Avon Amera. You can hope and pray I'm going to make more videos for it. I'm not going to do it like that. That is it. Once I make that final announcement, that is it for Avon Amera. I'm not going to do it like that, man. Now, once I make that final announcement, I will what? I'll give it a good 5 days. During those 5 days, I'll get smokes, beer. I might even walk to the park, sit down on the bench late at night at midnight, and just have a smoke. Have a couple smokes for a good 30, 45 minutes. Listen to some music. Chill. And then once I'm ready, in a good 5 days afterwards, I will go upstairs. And I will let my family know, hey guys, I'm done my book. I want to get my book published. I need your help. I have to tell them I need your help because I know the doors are locked on me. You're the gatekeeper. I need you to open the door for me, obviously. When I mean open the door, I mean I need them to what? To allow me to make my money. That's my point. You're the gatekeeper. I need you to what? Unlock the door so I can make my money. I can open my own door in terms of letting advertising, I can open my own door, obviously. Right, they have to unlock the gate and let me make money, obviously. And because of the gatekeepers, I have to what? I have to tell them, hey guys, I'm done my book. I want to get my book published. I need your help. If you tell them sincerely, they're going to, okay, Ivan's done. They'll know, obviously. And then eventually, within a good, a week, they might wait a good week or 2 weeks. Within a good week, a couple days to a good week, they're going to eventually sit me upstairs. I know the time has come. When I tell them that, they say, Ivan, come upstairs. We want to talk to you. It's about your book. That's when I'll know the time has come, obviously. I'm like, oh my God, the time has come. And then once I find out how wicked you are, I am never making any videos for my Saros channel ever again. That is it for Ivan Amera. I'll pay this fee. I'll cry my eyes out. While I pay this fee, I'll probably get beer and smokes to get my mind on things and food, watch games, watch movies, and I'll probably be busy looking at the trends. If I'm trending online, looking at those pictures is going to help me get through it, obviously. Because I'm God, if I'm trending online, looking at those pictures is going to help me get through it, obviously. But I also know after I pay this fee, I'm going to be king. I'm going to be king. I'm going to be a multi-billionaire. My wife will be queen with me, obviously. She'll be queen with me. Now, once I come out from death, I'm going to be like, oh my God, I'm going to cry my eyes out. But at the same time, I now know, oh my God, like I know what? I know once I get that what? Once I cut off death, I'm gonna cry my eyes out, obviously. But I'm also gonna be happy because I know that that day when I go to bed, that very day I come back from death, I'm probably gonna go to the store and get beer, and I might even get drunk. I might even get drunk, man. Go to the store, get drunk, and get food. I'll probably get a laugh out of my old videos, get a laugh out of my final announcement, my old videos, obviously. But oh my God, I'm gonna miss these videos. I'm saying because because I know making videos is fun, obviously. But I told you, once I find out how wicked you are, I am done. And I'm not going to let you do my. The fact that you act like you don't watch my videos, you act like nobody watches my videos, and secretly behind you watch my videos, you think I'm going to let you do like that. I'm not going to do like that. As when I'm king, you will not be saved. You're going to be left behind. You're not going to be saved, man. You made me pay a price, hence you're also going to pay a horrific price too, man. You made me pay a horrific price to be my wife. The mess that happened, especially have me suffer death. As when I'm king, you're also going to pay a price. What? You're left behind. You're not saved, obviously. Which is a very horrific price to pay, man. When I mean horrific price, just like me dying and the mass is a very horrific price to pay, right? The you world being left behind by God is a very horrific price to pay, man. As being separated from God's presence from His glory when He's king is a horrific price to pay, man. Ivan and Vijay are billionaires are living the lives of the main show. The whole world's going crazy about their trends, them being together. And you know what I'm saying? I don't know, you see 200 I don't know, you see all these trending pictures, you see all of Switzerland going crazy. You see a whole city of Switzerland going crazy about my movie. You see all those trends. Imagine seeing all those trends. Yeah, I don't know, 200,000, 300,000, 500,000 people going crazy about my movie in Switzerland. You feel what abandoned and left behind. It's a very horrific feeling, man. You see all these people yelling. It's a very horrific feeling. You feel abandoned and left behind by God. It's a very horrific price to pay, man. Hence why those actors are gonna what? They're gonna beg their asses off, obviously. And you will, they're gonna pay this horrific price. You cause mess in my life, as I'm gonna also cause mess in your life. Every day when you wake up, your life will be affected. Your daily life will be affected as you're constantly gonna be wondering what items you're doing. While you're working, when you take your break, you're gonna want to look at all the trends. When you go back home, you watch your television show, you watch your movie, you're gonna work at the same time you IVs are turning online. It's affecting your daily life, yeah, man. Just like the mess will affect my life, obviously. Because I know being with my wife comes at a price, man. Even though me and wife are gonna live a great life, you know what I'm saying? I know the mess comes at a price. Me being with her comes at a price. The mess what? The mess really, really comes at a price. It's gonna affect what? It's gonna affect me and my wife's life a little bit, obviously. Because don't forget, all these Hollywood actors who I'm hiring, and all these women and men, they all banged. All the men banged my wife, obviously. Horrific price I gotta pay, man. Imagine me hiring all these actors who had sex with my wife. It's a very shitty price to pay, man. You made me pay that price. There's a good chance the photographers, the web designer, and all of them. There's a good chance all those guys banged my wife also too, man. Because VJ had sex with a lot of men in Hollywood. And the price I have to pay is a horrific price. But I told you, I can easily hire serious people. But I told you, if I hire serious people, I won't get as good. My company won't be as good as Hollywood. Because I'm going to get shittier acting. Yeah, serious actors are cheaper. But serious actors are not as good actors. And you're not going to get as good of a movie if you hire serious actors. If you want to get best quality for your movie, you have to hire Hollywood actors. Since I have no choice but to hire what? Hollywood actors, obviously. It's not just the men, the women, too. It's not as bad as... The situation is not as bad with my wife. The situation with Ivan is not as bad as the situation with VJ. As VJ banged on pretty much all the men in Hollywood, pretty much. Whereas I'm not gonna bang all the Hollywood women. I'm probably gonna bang a good 1,000 women or something like that. Still a lot of women, but there's a good chance, a good chunk of the women who I'm gonna be casting for my movie, like for my Zayas movie, there's a good chance those women. You know what I'm saying? There's a good chance when I pay this fee, I'll be what? Oh yeah, there's a good chance I might have sex with those women too, obviously. Has VJ paid a price too? It's not just me. VJ also paid a price. So if VJ's a woman, women are a lot more emotional than men. I'm saying, yeah, it's a shitty price for me, you know what I'm saying? Hiring those Hollywood men, also be by my wife. But I'm a man. I'm pretty strong, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Whereas VJ, because she's a woman, women are very, very emotional when it comes to that stuff. And you make VJ pay a price too, as when I hire these women, you know what I'm saying? All these women had sex with Ivan, obviously. It's what? VJ paid a price too, obviously. And she made me and her pay a horrific price. Even though me and my wife are gonna live an amazing life, we're gonna be happy. The mess. What the mess came at a price, and it will affect our life a little bit, obviously. You know what I'm saying, but at the end of the day, because me and my wife are trying online, and we're billionaires, and we're living a life, and we're happy, we have a glowing beauty. All that will what? All that will what? All that overtakes what? Overtakes the price of the mess, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So even though being with my wife is a shitty price and the mess sucks, you know what I'm saying? Even though that comes at a price on stuff, because me and my wife are gonna be living a life and we're billionaires and we're fucking famous every day, we're gonna be happy every day in spite of the mess, obviously. And she made me and her pay every price. Especially fucking VJ. You know I was willing to sit my virginity and you had me have sex with so many women, man. And you made my wife pay every price. And that's why my wife is running with me and she's not making any bills for you after this. My wife is running with me and she's peacing out with me. She knows what I was willing to do for her. I was willing to sit my virginity for, and you had me have sex with what? All these fucking women, man. And before I can be with her. It's now when I see my wife, I have so many memories of having sex with all these women. And being with her comes at a fucking price. Yeah, man. Just like VJ has so many memories of having sex with so many men before she can see Ivan, because you fucking set the whole thing up, because you guys are wicked people, obviously. You're nothing but a fucked up, morally wicked mess. That meanwhile, if you guys are morally wicked people, man, you're fucking wicked people, man. And you deserve, because you're wicked, because you did this to me, the punishment of God is set upon the world, the judgment of God is set upon the world. When I was your king, queen, you're left behind, you're not saved. There's no way will I save your ass after what you did to me. Because you made me pay a price, and especially you choose not to talk to me in the public eye and act like you don't watch my videos. If you think you're not going to pay a price, man, you're going to pay a price, Willis. When I pay his fee, and I'm king, you're left behind, you're not saved. When I mean paying a horrific price, man, I mean you're really, really going to pay a horrific price. As you're looking at international crazy fame. For my book sales, international fame for me and my wife being together, crazy fame for that. You also have crazy fame for my book sales. International, the English speaking world going crazy with my book. All of Europe, all of North America, New Zealand, Australia, all going crazy with my book, obviously. Whereas a foreign world, they don't speak English, obviously. But you're looking at all of Europe. When me and my wife travel to Europe, you're looking at Switzerland, you're looking at crazy fame. People are constantly going to ask me and my wife for pictures. They're going to want me and her to sign their book. Most people are going to buy the ebooks. Hence, most people are going to ask me and her for pictures. But the ones who have the print, who buy the print, some of them, if they meet me and they end up having the book, they're like, hey, Ivan, man, can you sign my book? VJ, can you sign my book? You look at something fucking crazy, obviously. Hence why, once I come out from death, I'm going to cry my eyes off, because I just escaped death. I just came out. God saved me from death, obviously. But at the same time, I know when I go to bed, I know my wife will see me now. And so the crying will now stop, because my wife is fucking crazy, obviously. The crying will now stop, obviously. And I also know what? I also know in 30 days, once I release my book, all I have to do is sign up to Lulu. I have to sign up to Lulu, obviously. I'm gonna have to have. There's a good chance the step family will hire someone to help me with that. They'll have someone help me with Lulu, obviously. I'm gonna tell myself I want to pay this fee. Hey, when I release my book, I'm gonna need help releasing my book. When I release my book on Lulu, obviously. And so step family will most likely help me with releasing my book on Lulu. They're probably gonna have someone come and help me what? Because they're the gatekeepers. They'll probably have someone come help me release my book on Lulu. All I have to do is sign up to Lulu. I already have a PayPal account. All I have to do is sign up to Lulu, and I have to set up my what? Release my print and my ebook, price it $122. It's ready to release, and I have to set up my payment structure. Okay, there's two ways of getting paid. Either I get like two big checks. So Lulu will send me two big checks for like 2 months, two times a year. So I have to wait like 6 months. They send me two big fat checks, obviously, or something like that. Or I get monthly payments via PayPal. But if I get monthly payments via PayPal, PayPal takes like 3.9% of the royalties. 3%, about 3.7% of the royalties or something like that. Obviously. Which is worth it because I get monthly, I get paid online. It's like PayPal is like direct deposit, obviously. So I have my own PayPal account. You set up your PayPal account, okay, PayPal Canadian. Because I'm Canadian, I have to set my payment structure to PayPal Canadian, obviously. PayPal Canadian because I'm a Canadian. I want to get paid in Canadian. I'm not going to get paid in America. No, I want to get paid in Canadian. And once that's all set up, obviously, I get my first check at the end of the month because you get monthly payments for PayPal for Lulu for self-publishing Lulu. You get monthly payments, obviously. And then during those 30 days, I'm going to say my final 4-day goodbyes to Elmer, Quebec, obviously, and I'll be trending. You're gonna see me trending online when I pay this fee. So you're gonna see me when I'm poor, waiting that check. When I'm stressed out, obviously, my wife's gonna see all those trends, and you're also gonna see the poor Ivan before he's about to be rich, which is very very weird. Because once I'm king and you see the quick transition, you're gonna go back. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's funny because like I don't know why those 30 days I said my final 40 goodbyes. A lot of people are gonna around the world are gonna buy my ebooks, hence I'm gonna be experiencing some fame. People in Elmer are gonna ask me, "Hey Ivan, man, I read your book. I read some of your book. Your book is sick, and I have a picture with you, man. You wrote an amazing book. Your book is fucking amazing, and I can have a picture with you." Yeah, I have a picture with them. I take a picture of them. You're looking at a lot of trends, obviously, but you're looking at a lot of trends, but like it's not until I'm king and I'm with my wife, you're looking at something fucking crazy. You're looking at like hundreds of thousands of people taking. Like imagine me and my wife walking downtown Vancouver and like 500 people, 1,000 people taking out their phones and taking pictures of us. Look at something fucking. You know how with celebrities you have the crazy paparazzi? Well, think something like that for me and my wife, except a random person with a phone. You're looking at something fucking crazy, man. When I'm king and my wife's queen, you're looking at something. But even when I await that check, you're looking at something pretty crazy. As a lot of people in Elmer some people in Elmer are gonna ask me for pictures, man. You're gonna see some trends of me online. Finally on Twitter, obviously. You're gonna see trends of me online on Twitter, obviously. Oh my God, this is Ivan before he was awaiting that check. You're gonna see me like when I'm poor and I'm waiting that check, obviously. And then once I say my final goodbyes and I visit all the places I want to visit, like Cora's, there's a good chance I'm gonna check out Cora's, say what's up to my old bosses. There's a good chance I'm gonna check out in Ottawa. I'll check out Amigos Bar, Cora's, and that's it. Whereas in Elmer, I'm gonna go to places like Dinty's. I've never been there before. The restaurant in the marina, the pizza place. I'll be going to the Elmer Bar, McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? I'll be going to I'll be going to what? All those places. I'll also be going to the gas station getting beer. And so I have some good I bought a lot of smokes and beers from there. I'll be going to the gas station. I'm gonna miss this place. I'm saying. Elmer Cinema closed down, so I won't be going to Elmer Cinema, but I'm gonna be going to all those places, obviously. And then one day, I'll shut my camera here for a sec.